I just want to get drunk. I just want to get drunk. We've hit 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, and we've done it at 7 a.m. Like, I've got to wait all day to get pissed. You can't get pissed on your own at bloody 7 a.m. on a Tuesday. But the United Stand has hit 500,000 subscribers. This is going for Goldbridge, so we're going to combine the two. Buzzing, absolutely buzzing. I'm very happy it's happened on a Tuesday. I want to say a few words about that, but also we've got to take some of your questions. And there's just one question that just stood out to me from I put it up on Twitter, going for Goldbridge, going to film it, get your questions in below. I prefer non-football ones, and we got one from Matt Ross. At Matt Ross 854817756. No one's going to follow you with that, Matt Ross. Get a new Twitter handle. But he said, would you rather be able to talk to animals or immediately know the history of every object you touch? And I always think when you get asked either ors, do you look at your current situation or do you look at your past? So taking it as a demographic, I'd say most people who watch my stuff are aged between like 25 and 35. So let's pretend they're single, male or female, but probably going to be single males based on the demographic. I don't know whether they're single, but they're going to be male. Well, over 90% of people who watch my content are male. So would I rather be able to talk to animals or immediately know the history of every object you touch? Well, look, this is how my brain works. I'm a single man. If I touch a female that I like, and I'm going to know everything about our background, I'm going to know whether she's been with a woman, I'm going to know everything about her sexual history, which I think is a little bit more important, knowing what sexually transmitted diseases she might have, rather than talking to a random squirrel. I mean, it's great. The novelty of talking to a squirrel might be absolutely fantastic and tell me about where his nuts are, but I think I'm going to be a little bit more focused on being able to touch a woman that I fancy and knowing exactly what she's been up to. And actually, you know, you can find a lot out about a woman, couldn't you, very, very quickly by touching them and go, look, she's never going to let me do that. Move on. Anyway, let's move on. Manchester United Football Club is the club that I support, and the United Stand is the fan channel that I set up 4 or 5 years ago, and today it has hit 500,000 subscribers. So I just want to say thank you, everybody who has made that voice the voice that it is. I think it's very easy to say, it's down to me, and everyone knows it is really, but no, seriously, there's so many people who are involved in it, and I refuse to name everybody because I will thank them personally, and if I don't thank them because they've left, all I would say is 500,000 subscribers over 4.5 years. That is a journey. It's not a sprint. It's a journey, and everybody who has taken a step on that journey is a part of it. There's people who were involved in the channel at the start. There's moderators. There's people who've given advice. There's all sorts of people who've been involved along the way, and it would be absolutely wrong to start naming names because I can't do it. I'd forget people who actually were involved 3 years ago. So if you know you've had a part of it, it's a big thanks to you. But most of all, 500,000 subscribers doesn't happen without 500,000 people subscribing to the channel and watching the channel. So ultimately, they are the people that matter more than anything, because you are the people that watch the United Stand, get involved in it. And it's just a big thank you to you. So look, it's absolutely great. I can't wait to pop the champagne on the 8 o'clock show on the United Stand tonight. But I'm just so proud of what's been achieved. And there's so much stuff that's been, obviously this is going for Goldbridge, so I'm going to be honest and say, look, there's people out there there's bad people in the world. There are bad people in the world, and they pretend to be good people. And, oh, look at me, I'm a really nice person. You're not. You're an absolute shithouse. And we've come across people like that. And I don't really need to go down that route anymore, because we've done all we ever wanted to do. All we wanted was a fair crack of the whip, a fair go at being a Manchester United fan channel. And we've got that, and we've achieved that, and I'm very, very proud of that. But the barriers, the snides, the lies, the stuff that's gone on over the years, especially the first couple of years, really makes me proud of what we've achieved. It's not about going down that road again and arguing with those people. Let them crack on and do what they want to do. But they are shithouses, and they know it. And they spread a lot of lies, and they hide behind things, and they spread their lies, and they pretend to be something that they're not. And we've overcome that. And it's not about that argument, because I'm not even in that argument anymore. I'm not even bothered about that argument. But it makes me proud of what the United Stand achieved, because it was difficult at times. There was a lot of stuff spread around, a lot of lies spread around. And still those lies resonate even now. But if you know you're a good person, and you know you've got nothing to hide, then you just keep doing what you're doing. And we had some low moments. I mean, there's a video of when I nearly left from about 3 years ago because I'd had enough. But, I came back into it. And I think the biggest thing is, and Flex was on about this earlier, is don't let anybody get in the way of your vision and your dream. If it's a pure vision and it's a pure dream and you think that it's worth going for, you go for it. And do not let bullies, this is my big life lesson, do not let fucking bullies get in your way. Do not let them get in your way. Don't let it happen. fight back in the only way that you can fight back, in the pure way that you can, with your pure vision of what you think is important. And the United stand for me, lying on a lilo after the World Cup in 2014, I was like, you know what? I'm bored of forums. I'm bored of the traditional media, which is scripted in my opinion. Where's the real fan opinion? Where's the real debate? And that's what I wanted to do. Real fan opinion for real fans. That's what we said it on the first few shows when we had 10 people watching on a Sunday night. And we still say it now. That is what the United stand is. And whatever I bring and whatever anybody else brings, that is the core message, and that's what's carried on. And you know what? For all the bullshit lies about it started in my mum's bedroom with a green screen, I don't know how that would work, but there you go. Let's pretend it did start in my mum's bedroom with a green screen. It certainly didn't. I was in my mid-30s. Well, God, how long ago was that? Yeah, I was in my sort of early to mid-30s when I started that. I've not lived at home since I was 17, but there you go. Thanks, Mum, for lending me a bedroom to do the United stand. But let's pretend it did start there. Well, look at where it is now, 500,000 subscribers. So people can shit on it, people can try and abuse it, people can be intimidated by it, people can spread lies about it. But the United stand is the United stand. I'm very, very proud of it. And everybody who's got involved in it, I'm very, very proud of you. And, you know, let's just see where it's going to go. Because I think when you've got honest fan opinion, then you've got the dream, haven't you? And if you love football, that's what it's all about. And that's, you know, that's my message, is just thank you to everybody. And go and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. So let's fly in, and we'll be cracking the champagne on that a little bit later, because I'm actually filming this at about 10 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I've not started on the drink yet. But get on to our Instagram page if you want to see that, because Flex and Josh are out in Australia and they're having a drink. So yeah, I mean, there was a question in here from Alec Dukas saying, how long do you see yourself doing the United stand? Obviously nothing lasts forever, but we seem to be taking off right now. And I replied and I said I think this whole season will be my last. That was a joke, because I think if United have another season, like, the one thing I would say about doing the United stand is that United have not really had a sustained period of success. And I would love to see United being successful, because I like the positive side of things. A lot of people, you look at your Arsenal fan TV and people say it's Arsenal fan TV and chill when there's a bad result. And a lot of people are drawn to bad reactions to things, especially in football. It's always the way. I remember when England used to get knocked out of World Cups, and I'd stay up watching Sky Sports and everything like that, because it's the reaction to being disappointed. And that's sort of what we get into, that groove of being disappointed and being frustrated. But actually, I've seen on the United stand that when Mourinho was sacked and we got Ollie, that first month over December was the biggest month we ever had. There was so much positivity. When we won the Europa League, there was, you know, we were alive for an hour afterwards, you know, having a right good laugh, and there was thousands watching. So I want to see a positive period for Manchester United. As for me in the United stand, I just don't like putting time limits on it, because things can change very quickly, and if you're not in love with doing something, you stop doing it. I've had the barriers, like I say, I've had the lies, I've had the issues from outside people trying to cause us problems. I've jumped those, and I'm not bothered about those. But actually, what would take me away from it would be another project that I feel a little bit more passionate about, which actually I don't see, because I'm a Manchester United fan and I love Manchester United. So there's, you know, boredom again, which I don't see because I love football. So, but I know it can't go on forever. So I'm never going to put a time limit on it. I enjoy doing it, and then that's what's going to keep me doing it, isn't it? But I don't think you can say, yeah, 5-10 years. Thoughts on cabbage, says Glazers out. It's good with the right dinner. Cabbage, I like red cabbage. I love red cabbage with pork, stuffing, proper roast potatoes, some peas and carrots, lovely stuff. And on a Christmas dinner, funnily enough. Have you always supported Manchester United, says A. Dawson? What a relevant question that is. What a relevant, not an irrelevant, what a relevant question that is on a 500,000 subscriber United stand show. Have you always supported Manchester United? Look, I just sort of even call myself a Forest fan now, because I just think it's funny. Like, I've told this story so many times, but it resonates with what I was on about there. The person who started that lie is off a rival channel. They started it with a photoshopped forum post by me saying I was a Forest fan. Like, you know, that's where it started. That is the truth. Now, a lot of people who don't like me and don't like the channel, they've obviously spread it around further, but that's what it started off as, a lie. Like, I'm not a Nottingham Forest fan. I'm a Manchester United fan. I grew up in Nottingham, whereby my granddad, no longer with us, loved the Busby Babes. Then my mum loved George Best. Living in Nottingham in the late 80s when I was growing up, of course I used to go to Forest games, because my dad, who is a Chelsea fan, and my mum separated, And on a weekend, he used to take me to watch Forest. But my first game at Old Trafford was 1989. And I've always had Manchester United kits. I've always supported Manchester United. But I've had this conversation with people loads and loads of times. The Forest thing that people spread around started from somebody who didn't like the channel, who just is a bit of a bigot. Oh, if you're not from Manchester, you're not a fan. And that's where it started. And, you know, people use it in their own different way. That's fine. But it's not true. And it's never been true. So... And I've answered it so many different times and so many different ways. And also, football was so different when I was growing up. Like, there wasn't any Sky Sports. There wasn't Premier League football. All these people who say, well, why were you going to watch Forest games? Look, I lived in Nottingham in the late 80s when United were very rarely on the TV. And my dad had me and my sister. He used to drop my sister off at my grand and granddad's round the corner from City Ground and just take me for a couple of hours to watch games. That's what it was. And what do you want me to do? When I'm like 7, 8 years of age, I'm not going to watch a first division football match because I support Manchester United. Of course I'm going to go. It's a different world. It's a different time. And I got to see some really, really interesting games. As I say, I was at Hillsborough, so that was obviously not interesting. It's it is easily the worst football match I've ever been to. But I've been loads of football matches. When I first moved to Birmingham, like, I've got mates who are West Brom fans, Birmingham fans, Villa fans. I've been to loads of those games because I actually do just like watching football. And, you know, look, I've said it. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no, says Sam O'Donnell. Yes. I love it. I love pineapple on pizza. I know it's controversial. It's one of the big controversial questions, but I do. Thoughts on Megan Rapinoe, the US women's footballer? I think she's very arrogant. And she comes across as very arrogant, but I also think the hate against her is a bit too much, to be honest with you. You know, she's a character, isn't she? I don't really have a problem. America won the World Cup. Deal with it. You know, they were the best team in the World Cup, in the Women's World Cup. What is the best and worst part of your personality, says Pazat Jarara. Good question. I think the best part of my personality is my sense of humour and my loyalty. Which is all part of the package, really. It's all part of the Goldbridge. Well, it's not even Goldbridge, is it? But it's all part of the package of me. I do have a sense of humour. I do like a laugh, and I am very loyal, and I am very respectful. The bad part of my personality is I do occasionally, and I'm a lot better over the last sort of 15 years. But I was an angry young man for a long time, and it does blow up still every now and again. But petulant is the word, is the bad thing. You just can't control it. You just can't control petulance, and I've always had it. And it used to get me into a lot of trouble on football pitches. And I mean, look, going back to what I was saying about before, I can't stand bullies. I hate bullies. And there's this one thing that always sticks in my head, and I might have told it you before. I was about 8 years old at primary school, and we all used to go up the pitch at lunchtime and play football. You used to have to go, after when the bell went, you have to walk back across this field from the pitch to the school. And we'd lost this game, and I'd been fouled by one of the older lads. And when you're 8 and they're 11, because everyone plays mixed like at lunchtime, I think I was actually crying. I was quite a good footballer, you see. So he chopped me, and I was really hurt. And I was walking back, and I was trying to hold the tears back. And these two older lads come walking past, and the one who'd done it, and they were sort of ribbing me and laughing. And I went, I think I just said, piss off, you know, when you're 8. So he, you know, obviously to save pace, he punched me on the back of the head, and I fell on the floor. And they both laughed. So I got up as quick as I could, and I kicked him in the shin, and it hurt him, so he punched me again. But, you know, the lesson is, it's petulance. You know, in that situation, you cannot win. You cannot win. They're bigger than you. There's 2 of them. You've just got to take it and bite your tongue and take the situation, because life will deal you situations like that. But the petulance in me and the hating of bullies in me, and that's the first time I remember sort of standing up to a bully. I lost, but I actually, when the pain had subsided, I was like, you know what? I felt good. I actually felt good for standing up to a bully. So I don't like bullies. I just don't like it. And I will always try and help people who are being bullied. And I certainly will not have it myself. I just don't like it. And yeah, you might end up getting the shit kicked out of you. But principles are that petulance just won't disappear. And it is something that I sometimes wish I could rein in. And I do rein it in a lot better now. Not going to talk about Love Island. It's too divisive. Okay, what are the chances of United signing Fernandes? I think it's very good for Bruno Fernandes, to be honest with you. What does your family think of your YouTube career, says Liam Jacker? I think, I think it's always a weird thing to do because it's new to a lot of people, especially the older generation. But they're aware what it, I think the biggest thing was them understanding what it is. I think now they understand what it is. It's just like, they do enjoy it, yeah. Thoughts on England winning the World Cup? Oh, you know what? I mean, what a weekend of sport it was. What a weekend of sport it was. I was flicking between tennis and the cricket. I wanted Federer to win. I mean, it must be hard for Federer to have had, was it 2 championship points and he blew it? I'm not really a big fan of Djokovic. Not in a disliking way, but I just, he hung in there, fair play to him, and he won the game. You can't take that away from him. The cricket was just unbelievable. Unbelievable. People always say, what's your second sport? And football takes too much of my time. But what I do is I do watch big events. So I watch like the Wimbledon final. I watch like Formula 1 when I can. Cricket finals, where Ashes, I'll watch the Ashes, Olympics, the Rugby World Cup, the 5 nations, the 6 nations as it is now. So I don't have time to invest properly into other sports, but the major events I watch. So I might even watch the Golf Open, which is absolutely boring as shit, but I might watch it just because it's a big event. So it was amazing. I do like ice hockey, Murph, but I just never get a chance to watch it. If you had to choose one place to live, where would it be and why? Says the United area. I love London. I lived in Dublin for 3 years, and I do love there's a different feel to a capital city. I know it sounds a bit of a cliche, but there's a vibrance and there's a feel to a capital city. And I've lived in Birmingham, which is quite a big city, Nottingham, which is just, I mean, it's where I was born, but I didn't really live in a city. And to be honest with you, I don't really like Nottingham, to be honest. I've been back in there, and I just feels too small, and I don't like it that much, to be honest. Birmingham has come on a lot. I like Birmingham, and that's sort of like a rather big city. But Dublin, I lived there and loved it. It's just vibrant. I love Dublin. And London, although I've not lived there, I do go there a lot, and I like the feel of London. So, look, I've never lived in New York. I've never lived in LA. I've never lived in Paris. I've never lived in Rome, or Madrid, or places like that. But I do like the vibrancy, I've said it 3 times, of capital cities. So yeah. So for me, based on where I've been, Dublin or London. I've been to some of those other cities, but mostly I lived in Dublin, and I've been to London a lot. So it would be one of those 2. At the moment, I would like to have a house in the country. Yeah. But that's retirement, isn't it? Retirement, the Wi-Fi shit. You can't do that. And I can't afford the house that I would like. I'm not going to do football. Best game you've ever seen as a neutral, says Katu G HD. Do you think United is still serious about the football side? No, I'm not doing football. I can't be bothered to do football. People don't like... Football's for the United stand, and that's football. That's what that's for. Loads of people are asking me about fucking football. I should have said non-football questions, because now I'm scanning down all the questions and it's all about that. What is the thing you're most proud of so far in your life, says Matt Myers. I don't think anything compares to having the birth of your kids with the person that you love. I just do not think anything compares for me with that. It's not available to everybody. Not everybody is fortunate enough to have kids. Not everybody it deserves to have kids. They don't appreciate what it is. They're not there for them. But yeah, so for me, 3 kids, the moment they were born with the person that I love, nothing tops that. So that's the proudest thing in my life. And I've done a lot of things in my life that I'm proud of, but you can't be more proud than that. Bringing somebody else into the world. I feel that, to me, was one of the big things growing up that I just wanted to do. And I've been fortunate enough to do it. And I hope they all go on and do the things that they're happy with. And I hope that they procreate as well. I think that's quite important. I think that is quite important. But it's not the be-all and end-all, because some people can't do it. But for me, yeah, that's the thing I'm most proud of. Yeah, 100%. I would never say, doing this job or that job. No, they're nice and they're dreams, and they matter a lot, but not as much as that for me personally. And it was a question to me, obviously, because it is that's the point of the show. Anything gaming has got me here. Don't be offended, Mark. I love what you do. When did you lose your virginity? Again, don't be offended. I just can't think of a decent question to ask. Yeah, I'm not going to answer that, am I? Because if I say it was when I was 11, people will go, wow. And if I say it's when I was 32, people will just laugh. But it's neither of those ages, and the second one, it's nowhere near that. definitely younger by at least well over a decade and a half. But yeah, I'm not answering that question. Too personal. And yeah, was it with a girl or a boy? It was, yeah, definitely with a girl. Your favourite person that's not in football? Celebrities, says Matt Hardy. I think it's very difficult with celebrities. I'd love people to get in the comments below about that. It's very difficult with celebrities because you don't know who they are. And the one thing doing the United Stand, and the one thing I knew before doing the United Stand from previous jobs, is that you come into, obviously doing the United Stand, you're doing to come into contact with footballers, and you certainly see a lot more, you analyse them a lot more than you would do if you're just a casual sort of supporter. And also I've met a lot of celebrities in previous jobs that I've done, and I'm not criticising them, but they're not the people they are that you think they are. A lot of them, they're not. They live in such a bubble that it infiltrates their personality and turns them into people that, for me personally, I don't find them that desirable. I love what they do in front of a camera, and I love what they do on a football pitch, but as people, they're not necessarily nice people, even though they're held up as icons. So look, saying who your favourite person is outside of football, it's so difficult because I don't know them. I could say somebody, and then somebody could say I've met them. They're an absolute prick. So yeah, I don't suppose I can answer that question. I think like if you watch EastEnders and then you watch a film with like De Niro in it, the level of acting is just ridiculous. And I think that I've always admired the top actors. And to be honest with you, somebody who's around my age who I really do like at most films that they've done is DiCaprio. I think he's done such a wide variety of films and acted very well in all of them. I think that that's somebody that whenever they do a film, I always think I want to see that film. So I don't know what they're like in real life, so he might be a complete dickhead, but I do like him. I do like his films, and obviously the usual suspects. Yeah, your De Niros and your Pacinos. Do you watch other fans' channel content, says Mohammed Creatures? No. I watch a bit of the True Geordie because I like Brian and Loz and what they do, and I watch a little bit of Arsenal Fan TV because I do have a lot of respect for Robbie, but only his stuff, none of the bloody ranty crap stuff. You say the truth, and yeah, this is a good question. Akan Wiley says, you say the truth and people criticise you. Why? That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, because whether it's the United Stand or this, it's opinion. And if everybody agreed with my opinion, then there's something wrong with the world. It's real fan opinion for real fans. That's the United Stand. And opinion's always going to be different. The concept of the show was just to replicate what I used to have down the pub or on the bus to school when I was at school, or on a lunchtime when you're at work. People have different opinions. You don't sit there and go, that goal from Ronaldo was brilliant, he's the best player in the world, and everyone goes, yeah, that's great, let's eat our sandwich. People will go, oh, I've seen better, or people will go, man, Messi's better than it. That is opinion, and that's fine. People don't have to agree with you. The abuse side of things is just, I think most of the time it's uneducated people, really. I think if you abuse someone because you don't like their opinion, or you don't like how they look, that's just betraying a lack of education from you to actually have an opinion and understand that people might have a different opinion from you. And if you're abusing people because of how they look, or making or lies about them, then that's just displaying an insecurity in yourself. Because if you dislike somebody you've never bloody met or know anything about, then how ridiculously shallow and naive and bitter are you? If you dislike someone because of their opinion, fine, but well, not even fine. You can dislike their opinion because everybody's got a different opinion, is what I'm trying to say in an elongated way. And I don't dislike, take for example Rants or Flex. We don't disagree. We disagree on a lot of things. Doesn't mean I don't turn up and shake their hand and have a laugh with them. You hate Luke Shaw, Rants, so I don't like you, you fucking prick. Why? He dislikes a player that I like. Wow, we must not be able to be friends, and he must be a dickhead. But society is rife with that sort of mentality, and it's ridiculous. And it displays, and I wonder from a bigger point of view, because I see it with my oldest kid who's always on her phone, I just wonder whether the downside of this amazing social media world that we live in, the downside is the inability to look beyond a different opinion on YouTube or Twitter and understand that there's a person behind that you could really get on with and really like. And, you know, you might like pineapple on your pizza like they do, and you might like the same TV show, but because they had a different opinion on a particular player, they're a cunt, they're a wanker, they're this, that and the other. And it's so tunnel vision, social media, and that could be a negative from it. I struggle with it because I just think the vile nature of some of the stuff that goes on social media, and of course a lot of it's just keyboard warriors, of course it is, bitter and twisted because their life's not the life they want it to be. But we started off with that. Go out and chase your dreams, go out and get your dreams, and don't let people get in the way. And also try and be a good person while you're doing it, because yeah, look, I'll respond, I can be petulant, but ultimately I know I'm a good person, I know I'm honest, I know I'm respectful, and I know what my morals are bringing up. Of course, we've all got the ability to get into arguments, but the consistent nature of some of the arguments on social media just portray those people as bitter bastards, really, and they must live sad lives. Because I know that. I know I see stuff and have seen stuff where I want to reply to it, and then I just take a deep breath and say, actually, I'm not that person. Mute, move away, you know. But they don't. They'll be like, going at it for ages, and I think, your life's sad. Your life is sad. Why are you being abusive to people on social media so consistently? There must be no joy in your life. But there's certainly joy in mine, and you lot have brought it. And thanks everybody for what you've done for us on the United Stand. I really appreciate it. And make sure you subscribe to this channel. Bit of a mix on this going for Goldbridge, but thanks to everybody, and those people know who they are, because if you've been a part of the United Stand journey, even if it's watching one video, you're part of it, and we really, really appreciate it. As for going for Goldbridge, really good questions in there, and I want to get back doing that very, very soon. Speak to you all soon. Make sure you subscribe, smash a like, and join us on the United Stand at 8 o'clock tonight for the popping of the champagne. I can finally have a drink. I've been waiting since 7 a.m. this morning. It's still only 10:30. I'm desperate to start drinking, but I refuse to do it on my own at this time. So we'll be popping the champagne tonight. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon.